Hey everyone, welcome back to Ven's Learns. My name is Venu, and the last time we explored the world of AI. Today we're going to take a deep dive into something cooler, generative AI. Generative AI sounds like it creates things. Let's see what AWS says. So we've already enrolled into the course for Introduction to Generative AI, the Art of Possible. So the first part of the course is how to use this course. And it just gives you a brief description of how the course flows and the how to progress. So searching content, you search for keywords in this course, select the magnifying glass on the icon, which is this one here. Completing lessons. As you complete the lesson, a check mark appears, and the circle shows the progress of each lesson. So for this introduction to generative AI, there's an overview of machine learning or ML, basics of generative AI use cases, generative AI practice, and the risk and benefits, and the conclusion. As I complete each part of this course, I will give you a brief overview of each part. Thank you. So now that we've completed all the sections in this course, as you can see, each section has been ticked when complete. And now we're going to go over briefly each section so that you have an understanding, as well as so do I. And maybe you can do this course in the future. So the first section is an overview of ML, or machine learning. And basically it just explains what machine learning is and how machines learn. So they recognize a pattern in historical data, and they make predictions on new data. So here's the historical data. They recognize the pattern and they make predictions. In essence, machine learning is training a computer to recognize patterns in historical data to make predictions on new data. The history of machine learning at Amazon. So Amazon has been using machine learning for more than 20 years. That is impressive. I thought AI was a fairly new concept, but it's been around for a long time. So yeah, some of the machine learning or that is used by Amazon is used in the Amazon Prime Air, which is drone delivery, Amazon Go, and which uses deep learning. And basically, generative AI is a subset of machine learning and deep learning, which makes up artificial intelligence. But we'll go into that at a later stage. And here's a nice timeline of when Amazon started using machine learning and which eventually led to generative AI. So it's in 2001 where it launched its personalized recommendations. 2005 Amazon Prime launches. Amazon starts using robots in fulfillment centers in 2012. In 2014, Amazon Alexa launches. That's a nice AI that Amazon has. Amazon Prime Now launches. Amazon Prime Air makes its first delivery. Amazon Go, Amazon subsidiary Zoox, and then finally, which is a robot taxi, which is probably competition to Elon Musk's Tesla. Um, in 2023 and beyond, Amazon launches Amazon Code Whisperer and announces Amazon Bedrock. So Code Whisperer is a nice tool, which we'll get into later in this course or this module. So yeah, understanding the difference between generative AI and traditional machine learning. This is a nice illustration where it shows that generative AI is a subset of deep learning and machine learning, and eventually that consists of artificial intelligence. Most of the diagrams in AWS learning are interactive. So when you click on them, it either gives you a bigger picture or an explanation if you mouse over them. The large language modules have the ability to predict the next word in a sentence by taking into consideration the position of the context of a word in a sentence. So just make a note of this: large language modules, LLM, because it forms the basic building blocks of artificial intelligence, or being able to predict data. LLMs use the ability to generate new content. So generative AI is a subset of deep learning, which I mentioned before, means it can adapt models built using deep learning, but without restraining or fine-tuning. The evolution of machine learning and the emergence of generation AI. So basically, machine learning can be what is considered the base of AI. And so yeah, machine learning has been around for decades, and the data scientists have been building language modules for many years. And that begs the question that what has led to the emergence of generative AI now? So the answer is straightforward: huge investments in resources. So as I mentioned before, the illustrations are interactive. Investment in team size, willingness to invest in big ideas, and investment in compute. So the summary of this overview of machine learning: Amazon has been using ML for more than 2 decades and has a long history of delivering business value to AI. So now we move on to the next section, which is the basics of generative AI. And so yeah, this just goes over the basics and tells us what generative AI is actually is. Um, Generative AI is a type of AI that can create new content, including conversations, stories, images, videos, music, and code. So say coding generation, for example, when it is used in AWS, you can use Amazon Code Whisperer, which is free, and you don't have to be a member of AWS to use Code Whisperer. You can just download the application and use it for any code. And here's an interesting fact. During the Amazon Code Whisperer preview, Amazon ran a productivity challenge. Participants who used Code Whisperer were 27% more likely to complete tasks successfully and did so on an average of 57% faster than those who didn't use Code Whisperer. So this it's more accurate and it saves time. So here's an interesting um, um, a term that I just learned going through this module. They must leave. So normally coders or software developers, they have to leave their integrated development environment. So that's their workspace, I guess, in order to research, or they ask their colleagues for help. Now with Code Whisperer, it meets the developers where they are most productive in the IDE, so they don't have to leave their IDE in order to get help on developing their code. This is an example of Code Whisperer helping a developer. So what are customers saying about Code Whisperer? Two of the biggest companies that are using Code Whisperer is one of them is Accenture, uses Code Whisperer to improve developer productivity, and the other one is Goldman Sachs. So these are two articles which you can go through on your own and find out how Code Whisperer is helping these two companies. And the common use cases for Code Whisperer is generative AI is forecasted to increase the global gross domestic product by 7 trillion over the next 10 years. That's according to Goldman Sachs. It improves customer experience, boosts employee productivity, and you can use generative AI to turbocharge production of all types of creative content. So basically, creativity and improve business operations. How Amazon uses generative AI. One of the ways Amazon uses generative AI is with the Create with Alexa feature. So basically, you can create your own story and using Alexa. And here's a short example of a story that's created using Alexa. The science behind Alexa's new interactive story creation experience. You can go to the article and read that on yourself. And the lesson summary is basically generative AI is a form of AI that can produce new content. And that's in relation to stories, images, videos, music, and even code. The next lesson is generative AI use cases. So basically, these are use cases in regards to generative AI on AWS. So you got your foundation models as a service, build your own models, and compute. Amazon is focused on three macro layers to generative AI: compute, build your own models, and FMs, which is functional models. So compute, as I said, the illustrations are interactive, build your own models, and foundation model. You can use generative AI to come up with creative and unique names for your products. So there's different use cases. This is healthcare, and basically this healthcare use case um, tells us how healthcare generative AI is used in healthcare. AWS HealthScribe empowers healthcare software vendors to build clinical applications, personalized medicine, and medical imaging. Now, this one here is an interesting feature. Medical imaging, instead of using X-rays, MRIs, or CT scans, you can use generative AI to determine a patient's illness. And then there's life sciences, financial services, manufacturing, retail, and media and entertainment, and you can go through those on your own. Here are two articles: Realize the business value of generative AI in your organization and the economic potential of generative AI. And the lesson summary from this section is: in this lesson you learn about some of the typical use cases of generative AI. Continue to the next, and the next lesson is generative AI in practice. So let's go to that one. So the lesson describes a real-world scenario about how generative AI can benefit customers like us or you or whoever. In the following lesson, you will learn more about the risks and benefits of generative AI. So basically, this section goes over the risks and benefits, and it also gives you a scenario. In the following example, you will follow any company. So I think they are making a shoe.
The business will use foundation models in the categories of content summarization, content generation, code generation, and question and answer. Starting with content summarization, imagine that the product team has done extensive research on the current market for this new line of shoe. They might need to present their findings to the board or the executive team to get approval to move the product forward. Here is a prompt that uses content summarization to narrow the focus of a detailed market research report. The model begins to generate a summary that covers the key points in the detailed market report.
So
Great.
basically,
now the product team is ready to present their findings.
So basically, you enter a prompt, and the generative AI gives you a response. So you can generate content.
The team also needs to provide the marketing department with some text.
I just want to get to the interesting one where it actually generates a photo. So here it
The
is.
marketing team also requested a photo to include in the social media posts. Although the product team has some studio images, they don't have the time or the budget to do a professional shoot in London. Again, they can generate this image using an image generating AI using the following prompt and attaching one of their studio photos. The model quickly generates a stylized photo, and it's off to marketing.
How cool is that? So you don't need a graphic designer or an artist or a photographer to generate media for your adverts and such. It gives you transcripts for each video that you can watch on the section. So the lesson summary here is the scenario in this lesson highlighted several use cases for generative AI during the life cycle of a new product release. Continue to the next lesson, which is risks and benefits. There are various risks. Some of them are legal risks, but you just have to be aware of any legal restraints that you might be crossing when using generative AI. Then there are regulatory requirements, for example, content that potentially violates another individual's intellectual property, social risks, for example, the possibility of unwanted content that might reflect negatively on your organization, or privacy concerns. For example, information shared with your model can include personal information and potentially violate privacy laws. So, generative AI carries a great deal of responsibility. It is up to the developers, researchers, and users to make sure it is used in an ethical, responsible, and beneficial way. So here are the benefits of generative AI. So you can personalize your customer interactions, generate novel content, efficiently adapt pre-built models to business use cases, achieve productivity gains through automation. So the marketing team can quickly perform testing on A or B to see which option is more favorable to audiences. Developers can use Code Whisperer to generate routine code blocks, and this also speeds up the process. So this lesson summary is this lesson reviewed some of the risks and benefits involved in using generative AI, and then finally there is the conclusion. So in this course, we covered the following topics: what is generative AI and how it fits in ML or machine learning, the history of machine learning at Amazon, generative AI services available from Amazon, um, why generative AI is important, business use cases and values for generative AI, and the risks and benefits of generative AI. So the next course or the next module is planning a generative AI project. I hope that video was informative and helped you understand generative AI better. So our next video, join us for our next video where we go and look at planning a generative AI project. I hope to see you soon, and don't forget to like and subscribe below. Thank you for joining me on Ven's Learns. If you're ready to embark on your AI adventure, hit that subscribe button and smash the notification bell so you never miss a video. Let's unlock the power of AI together. Thanks for joining me today. See you in the next video.